Good evening or good afternoon. This is my trade recap for the day. On my screen we have the MES chart, which we are going to go into the hourly. So it's got a few trend lines drawn up. Let's just resize. Here we go. So the levels today I was watching were 44.40. If you recall, actually, when I was doing my trade plan this morning, I was in a trade already, and the trade I was in was here, which I'll show on the 5 minute, for a short down, and I got in on ending volume on here. So this big run up from the post market or this morning's pre-market, I saw a couple of big volume bars, and then I got in pretty much at the top of that rally. I was in probably there, I think, or might have been up here. So that was a good run, and I came out down here, and one of them I broke even. So that was good. So I was up. I was up for the day before the market even opened, and I was probably willing to walk at that point as well. I didn't walk away because I still wanted to watch the market. So the level. So that was the level I was watching this morning. It broke through, and it retested this area to come back down again. So that was a good play. The other levels I've been watching for and still watching for are 44.66, 44.10 to 44.11 area, and I had a few scalp areas which I'll go into in a second. But apart from that, that was the main area, and as you can see, we had a big area of volume here, and it probably explains why we're seeing a lot of sideways action at the moment. So going into the 5 minute chart, and now all those lines will be more clear. So this is a trend line from Friday where we broke out and we pulled back down, and we ran down this trend line before in the post market, pre-market actually this morning. We broke out over this trend line and started putting in a bit of a bullish trend until we got to this morning. So my trade this morning was at 8 AM, around 8 AM Eastern time. So I saw a few anomalies. So I saw higher volume, smaller candles. Then I saw this test candle where it's the smart money or the insiders were testing for a potential move down, and had a little bit of volume, so it didn't look like it was ready to complete the test. And then I was watching, I saw increased volume on this bar here, and then another bar where it didn't want to make a new high. And because of the two high volume bars, I got in. So I was in, and it was an area I was watching as well, so I got in around about there for the first, and I added about there. So my average price was 44.37.75. So pretty much my average price was there, right at the top of that range. And it was a good move because then it ran right down. I took profit there, I took profit down here as well, and I let it pull back on me, and it was a pre-market, and I did consider adding, but I didn't add. I saw these two tails, and I should have got out there because that was my warning sign, the two bottom tails. We had a slight increase in volume as well, and then the market opened, and I thought the increased volume was the market opening. So I eventually stopped out on that last one way up here, which just happened to be where the market is right now. Look at that. So nothing's changed at all. Everything's exactly where it was at 8 AM this morning. So that was my first trade. So I had profit here, profit there, and a break even on my runner there. So that was a good trade, and I should have walked to that point. I was done for the day, and the market hadn't even opened. So, but as I'm still learning and I want to keep an eye on the market, I stayed with it. So I was watching it. It was putting in this flag, and I know some other people took the break out of this flag, but which was a good trade. But I was watching the volume, and the volume was declining as that was breaking out. So I chose not to take that trade. It did put in higher volume afterwards, but I still wanted to stay clear. And then there's a potential breakout here as well, which I avoided. But it was looking good because it was increasing volume, but it wasn't really something I wanted to get involved with. My mind was set as I had a slightly bear bias today because Friday, let's just zoom out again. Friday we had this big sell-off, and I was expected to come back and retouch this area and break back down, and you can see it's not quite decided where it wants to go yet. So my next trade was this GBI. So I saw it break down, and we had increased volume up here, but it was reducing volume, so it was a boredom trade more than anything. But I took this GBI bar, my entry was there, my entry was on this bar here, I think it was, and my stop would have been, it was originally there, but I moved it to there, and it was good. I got out there, and then I got out there, so it's another good trade. Probably shouldn't have taken it because it didn't match. It wasn't an A+ setup, put it that way. But it was all. But the next bar was on volume and declining, so it looked like it was pulling back, possibly for another leg down. But I was out of that trade, and then I took one more trade, which was at that point I drew these lines in because I saw this trend. We saw this flag starting to appear, or this wedge starting to appear. And so I drew the lines in, and I drew it in, I think it's on there, and this candle came up. I watched it start to do this, and when it came back down, I went short as it broke through the VWAP. It was a breakdown, and it came back to retest it, so I was short on the retest of the VWAP. So I added there, and I was in 4 contracts, I believe, and I took profit on the low of the day, and I took profit down here, but I was waiting for an add, and so I saw it break and retest, and I really wanted to add on this retest. So, but I waited for a little bit more, and I wanted to add on this point of control, this orange bar. So what I did is I made an add just there, and as you can see, it stopped out, and I kept my stop at close to break even. So my runners, which I had 2 runners left, they stopped out close to break even, and it was a partial stop out on the 2 I added. So maybe I shouldn't have added, but yeah, the idea was there. It did look like it wanted to break down and come back up. That's what I thought it was going to do. So that's it, and that's my trade today. So I'm up quite well. Had a good day. I'm probably not going to trade anymore unless I see some of my levels come in, and the levels are the ones I just mentioned previously, which will be probably 410 area or 440-400. So 4410 I meant, or 4400, and maybe 4466 area for a short. I probably won't take any more trades, but if I do see any, it will be a scalp. I can't really see anything at the moment. I'm watching volume as well. Volume's declining, so maybe this decline in the volume may show that we are starting to turn around. And if you look at this 5-minute chart, we are starting to curve around, and this area seems to be a major area, which I've got already marked up from several weeks ago, 44.40. So possibly I may consider a short if we break back down on a break up down, and I see increasing volume as we're breaking down. So that'd be the only trade I'd take. But apart from that, it was a good day. Apart from stopping out at break even, I probably ignored these warning signs. But I'll journal that, and I'll do better next time. Okay, have a good day.